Undefined, aka the king of gaming, the king of YouTube, the realest gamer on the internet, the 100% fact spitter, the higher level thinker, the leader of the real gamer movement, the king of anime, the king of manga, and the one who's better than you in every way, has once again returned to deliver the greatness, has once again returned to deliver the facts. Even though you frauds on this channel simply do not deserve it. Make sure you hit the like button on this video, follow me on twitch.tv/theancientpizza, watch my incredibly amazing live streams, easily the greatest streamer of all time. I have no competition, there's no one better than me. Oh, and I just want to say this regarding the live streams too. All of you frauds I be seeing in the comment section of my YouTube videos sucking me off like, great video, young. The king is back, man. You're the best, man. Spitting facts once again, man. Come on, you Undefined's the best. Blah, blah, blah. Where are you morons at when I live stream? You losers act like you really support me, but every time I stream on YouTube or Twitch, you're never there. You don't just get to watch my YouTube videos and not support me elsewhere. Let me explain what subscribing to someone as legendary as me means. Watching every YouTube video I make, immediately hitting the like button on that video, watching every YouTube live stream I do and immediately donating during that live stream, following me on twitch.tv/theancientpizza and watching every live stream I do, not just sitting there and being an inactive viewer or an inactive follower, because that's what you losers do. You'll follow me on Twitch, yet every time I stream on there you won't watch. It doesn't mean subscribing to my YouTube channel and just sitting there being an inactive idiot not watching. It means following me on Twitch, as I said, watching every live stream, subscribing to me on Twitch, which is $5 a month, donating to me on Twitch, subscribing to me on YouTube, and watching every video I make, hitting the like button on every video I make, watching every live stream I do on YouTube. That's what I expect from my viewers. And if you aren't doing any of these things, you don't matter. You're a fraud. You're not a real supporter. So from now on, those of you frauds that love to suck me off in the comment section of my videos, but I never see in my YouTube or Twitch live streams, you will be banned from commenting on my videos unless you prove that you deserve to be here by watching my YouTube and Twitch live streams. Mainly Twitch, because I'm not going to be on YouTube anymore when it comes to streaming. Streaming is trash on YouTube. Only losers stream on YouTube. But again, you don't get to pick and choose when it comes to my content. It's either all or nothing, you frauds. I'm so glad I'll be moving to a new YouTube channel and starting over from scratch. I've been done with you idiots. Like, the only reason I'm even making this video right now is because I was paid to do it by one of my loyal viewers. Otherwise, you'd be getting no more content from me because you morons just simply do not deserve it. But yeah, if I can see anybody on this video commenting that I haven't seen in my YouTube or Twitch live streams, you're gone. You want to be here? Actively come to the YouTube and Twitch live streams. Like I said, preferably Twitch, because that's where I'll be from now on. I'm officially done with YouTube. With that being said, let's get into this video, man. So this decade will go down as one of the worst decades for gaming. It was filled with completely garbage games and gamers who were too stupid to understand what good games are. So I figured it was time for me, Undefined, aka the king of gaming, to go over the worst games of the decade. Games that are completely overrated trash that didn't deserve the hype and praise that they got. This list is 100% objective. This is a fact. This is not an opinion. You losers should know by now that I spit pure 100% facts in every single one of my videos. With that being said, let's get right into this list with the first game, which is The Last of Us. The Last of Us is easily one of the most garbage and overrated games of all time. Has a boring generic story with bad characters that lack any depth. These characters are just cardboard cutouts that have no personality. They're so cliche. I mean, the gameplay is boring, repetitive, and amounts to nothing more than just bad stealth mechanics, sneaking around and choking, sneaking around and stabbing. It's just the same old boring gameplay. Getting a plank for Ellie to swim on because she can't swim. It's just so stupid. Like, how is this gameplay fun? This is not a game. This is a movie. That's all it is. If it wasn't, because that's all people talk about anyway. Nobody ever praises the gameplay in this game. When they talk about The Last of Us, they're strictly talking about a story. We're not playing stories. We're playing games. The gameplay is supposed to be what matters, not story. If you want a good story, go watch a movie. That's all this game is a movie. The gameplay is horrible. This cannot be considered a game. You know, the graphics are simply embarrassing. The game looks like trash. It runs like trash with so many bugs and glitches. The game is just horrible. Anyone who likes this game is not a gamer at all. Next up is Red Dead Redemption 2. I thought the first Red Dead Redemption was trash, but the second one is even worse. It's a boring plot hole infested, pulled out of thin air story that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. As bad as the first game was, at least the story was more consistent and coherent than the story in Red Dead Redemption 2. They just pulled things out of thin air. Things that never existed in the first Red Dead Redemption are just, sprung up out of nowhere, and you're like, huh? Just tons of plot holes and inconsistencies. It has no memorable characters at all. The gameplay is so boring. I mean, why did they try to make a game this realistic? Nobody wants to sit here and do mundane things like shave and do all these boring real life things. You play games to get out of the real world. So why are they trying to implement all this realism into the game? It makes the game so boring. It's nothing but a walking simulator. Some of the worst gameplay I've ever seen. It's just so stiff. And it's like, who the hell wants to be a cowboy anyway? Cowboys are lame. This game is just garbage. This game is truly what's wrong with gaming. Next game is God of War. Sony proving yet again that they have lost it, simply lost it when it comes to gaming. Instead of making good games, quality games, they rather make these boring walking simulators and cutscene simulators left and right. This game is literally just copy and paste The Last of Us. Ever since The Last of Us, Sony has continued to make the same game over and over again with no new innovation or anything, yet they are praised by these pathetic Sony fanboys that know no better. They know nothing about good games, nothing about quality games. They're just, blinded by Sony, praise them no matter what, and it's just pathetic. Get back to being good, Sony. What happened to the Sony of the past? They were good. This new Sony is trash. This game is nothing but Last of Us Kratos Edition. Same boring story, same boring gameplay, same bland graphics that look like they belong on the PS2 at best. It's literally just a copy and paste job here. And how they were allowed to get away with this, how this game won Game of the Year 2018, is just beyond me. It just goes to show that there's no standards anymore. Next up is Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, the Grand Theft Auto series has always been overrated garbage. The only good Grand Theft Auto game is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. All the rest of the games are complete trash. This whole series is just really overrated garbage, and this one takes the cake. This is easily the most overrated garbage Grand Theft Auto game ever made. The game was so boring. I had to force myself to beat it, and as soon as I did, I never went back. The game was that trash to me. The story was boring. All three characters were trash. The gameplay of switching between the characters, it was stupid. The missions were boring. The free roam was boring. The city was lifeless. Online was complete garbage. Like, I don't know how in the world people are still playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online. If you're still playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online, quit gaming immediately because you're a moron and you don't deserve to be here. That online is a travesty. It's a joke. No real gamer such as myself on higher levels of thinking such as myself could ever take that online seriously, man. Next game is Fortnite. Now, this list isn't really numbered or in order or anything, but if I had to choose one game that is easily the worst of the decade, it would be this game. Fortnite it's appalling that this game was allowed to be made, allowed to come out, that people played it, it got popular. It's one of the worst games of all time. This game single-handedly destroyed gaming. I mean, don't get me wrong, gaming was already dead before this game, but this game was the final nail in the coffin. This game getting popular told me that there is simply no hope for gaming. If trash like this can get popular, if there are people stupid enough to actually play games like this and feel comfortable with themselves as human beings, then again, there's no hope. There's clearly something off. This game represents everything wrong with gaming. Why modern day gaming is a joke and why it's dead. There's nothing more that needs to be said about Fortnite. It's just easily one of the worst games of all time, if not the worst game of all time. Next up is Overwatch. This game is pure overrated trash at its finest. I mean, now first-person shooters have always been trash, but this one takes the cake. I mean, wow. A boring, repetitive, casual, no skill required piece of trash. The maps sucked. The guns sucked. The characters all sucked. They had no personality. They just kept making the same character over and over again. It was a boring arena shooter, so there was no ADSing. There was no sprint button. It was just stupid. This game died immediately. As soon as it came out, it died. Nobody's talking about Overwatch anymore. They're desperately trying to make an Overwatch 2, which is going to happen the same way. It's going to flop. Nobody's going to be playing it. Making another game is not going to change anything. At its core, Overwatch is trash. And no real gamer such as myself on higher levels of thinking such as myself should be playing a game like this. Period. Stop playing first-person shooters, you casuals. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Nintendo is at it again, once again milking games because they have no originality or creativity. Like, why is Smash Bros. Still a thing? Why wasn't this series canned a long time ago? I mean, the concept of it is corny. You have all these characters from different games coming together to fight. It's such a kiddie and childish game. It's not a real fighting game. No real fighting game fans or none of the fighting game community takes Smash Bros. Seriously. Like, nobody plays it. It'll never be a fighting game series that people look at and take seriously. It's always just going to be, oh, you play Smash? What's wrong with you? Like, Smash Bros. Players are just weirdos. They smell funny. They look funny. I mean, I don't know. There's something just off about Smash Bros. Players. And this game is just trash. It doesn't deserve to be talked about. Didn't deserve the scores it got when it came out. The game was just horrible. Just another copy and paste job by Nintendo. Next game is Skyrim. One of the most overrated garbage games of all time. This is an RPG for complete casuals. Idiots that don't know what real RPGs are. I mean, wow, did this game suck. I remember playing it for like, I don't even know how long it was, but it wasn't a long time. I played it and never touched it again. The story was boring. The gameplay was repetitive. There were tons of bugs and glitches. The music sucked. There was nothing compelling about this game. Yet every time I look up, people are sucking this game off, acting like it's actually a quality game. Where's the quality? This game has no quality in it whatsoever. Again, it's an RPG for casuals. The only reason people like this game and think it's a good RPG is because it's their first RPG. They're oblivious to the other great RPGs that have come out. Horrible game. Next up is Death Stranding, another garbage game by that fraud Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima is nothing but a talentless fraud. That's all he is. And he has an army of deep throaters that just suck him off on every occasion. I just don't get it. How you can be so talentless like him, put out nothing but convoluted, plot hole infested games that are really just movies, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to make movies, but nobody's crazy enough to let him anywhere near a movie studio. Nobody's crazy enough to hire this fraud, so he keeps making these bad games that are just movie simulators. That's it. He made this Death Stranding game, which is just a cutscene simulator, a weirdo simulator, a made for moron simulator, and he still has people going crazy over it. How can you be so dumb to believe in this guy? He just keeps making bad games. Metal Gear Solid games are all trash. And now Death Stranding is even worse. This is not a game. This is a glorified movie. Tons of cutscenes, tons of dumb dialogue. The gameplay is just stupid. Just a walking simulator. Just tons of ideas just thrown into it and just mixed together like some stew. This game's a joke. This is what gaming has become. Just make these cutscene simulators that don't even focus on gameplay anymore. Unbelievable. How this fraud keeps being allowed to make games is beyond me. Next up is Spiderman PS4. Now you can tell Sony's getting desperate when they have to make a Spider-Man game. I mean, really trying to capitalize off the whole milk to death superhero craze. You know, you see the Avengers and you're like, oh man, maybe we can make some money off of this and make a superhero game and get all the casual idiots that only watch superhero movies to come over and buy our game. And it still didn't work because this game flopped. This was one of the worst selling games the year it came out. Nobody paid attention to this game. I mean, of course, you had Sony fanboys hyping it up, but they hype up anything Sony. They don't know any better. They're idiots. This game is nothing but a Batman Arkham ripoff, but worse in every way. It's like you copy the game, copy and paste, and you still get it wrong. The Arkham games are way better than this garbage. But yeah, just nothing but an Arkham ripoff with a Spider-Man skin. That's it. Sony copy and pasting games once again. The gameplay was just boring, repetitive trash. The story made no sense. The graphics sucked. I mean, it's just an embarrassment to gaming. Next game is Minecraft. What a stupid game this is. How can you feel comfortable playing Minecraft? Especially in 2019, because there's people that still play this garbage. It's still popular. And why? This game is the very definition of corny. Going around doing nothing but building things. It's a Bob the Builder simulator. A Lego simulator. For people that wanted to be creative in real life but couldn't do it, so they had to come to a video game. Oh, but come on, Young. Have you seen the crazy things people build in Minecraft? It's so creative. Like, there's so much creativity. Well, why aren't they putting that creativity into the real world? They're doing it in video games because they can't do it in the real world because they're not really creative. What a terrible game. Minecraft is a joke, and anybody that likes this game and plays this game cannot be taken seriously. Next game is Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh man, this game never fails to make me laugh considering how hyped up it was for years upon years. Then when it came out, was almost forgotten about immediately. The Game Awards 2019 just came and went, and this game was nowhere to be found. I mean, what a joke. This game was just immediately forgotten about. I mean, how do you come out and have this much hype for years upon years and then be forgotten about almost instantly? Like within a day or two, nobody was talking about this game anymore, and for good reason. It's trash. But the Kingdom Hearts series has always been trash. It's always been a convoluted, plot hole infested mess. It's always had boring, repetitive, easy combat that requires no skill to play, and this game just took everything up a notch. I mean, the story was just all over the place. It had no coherent setting. It had no coherent plot. It was just, let's just throw up some random things and hope it sticks, and it didn't. Go from here to here. The characters were terrible. Just knock off Final Fantasy characters that never made the cut, and then you add Disney to the mix, which Disney is trash as well. So you have a recipe for disaster. The gameplay was so easy, so casual. You could literally have your hands tied behind your back, be blindfolded, not be able to hear, and still win. The game handed you the win. The final boss was a joke. This game took no skill because they knew that this game was catered towards casuals, frauds, and fake gamers that can't play real RPGs, so they had to make it as easy as possible. The music sucked. It was the same repetitive garbage left and right. Horrible game. I mean, what a flop this game was. Next game is Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, this game once again proves Sony has no idea what they're doing. I mean, all they did with this game was rip off Transformers. That's all they did. Let's rip off Transformers. Let's add some boring main characters. So let's make another SJW game with a boring female lead that has no depth or personality or originality. Let's throw some random, boring, stiff, clunky gameplay in there. Make the controls unresponsive. Add tons of bugs and glitches. Let's keep making the same story with The Last of Us over and over again, and Sony just keeps ripping off their own games. There's nothing original about this game. The only people that like Horizon Zero Dawn are casuals, frauds, fake gamers, and Sony fanboys. There's a reason why this game got 0 awards at the Game Awards, because nobody cares. Most people knew it was garbage except for Sony fanboys, idiots, casuals, and fake gamers. Period. The story was trash, the gameplay was boring and repetitive, the graphics sucked. There was nothing good about Horizon Zero Dawn. Next up is the Resident Evil 2 remake. Now, this game was complete trash. It was one of the worst games I've ever played. It was nothing but a bat tracking simulator. You know, go here, then you gotta go back over there, go here, run back over here, go back for where you just came, get the key, go over here, backtrack, puzzle here, never have enough ammo, some big random mutant following you the whole game. It was just such a boring, and tedious game. It was a struggle to get through. It was so boring. And it doesn't surprise me because the Resident Evil series has always been trash. I mean, the original Resident Evil 2 was complete garbage, but this one is even worse, which I didn't think was possible. It was just boring. That's all this game is boring. Yet it got good scores that it didn't deserve thanks to nostalgia and thanks to, a bunch of morons not knowing what good games are. If you're a fan of Resident Evil, you are a fraud, a fake gamer, a casual. And I can't believe the third game is now getting remade. It's like, leave this series alone. It sucks and it always will. Next game is Watch Dogs. Now, Watch Dogs, when it first came out, oh man, was it getting a lot of hype. It was getting so much hype, and it disappointed left and right. I mean, the gameplay was so boring. Go here, hack this. The whole hacking gimmick got old very, very fast. The characters sucked. It was pretty much just a revenge story. Aiden Pierce, the main character in this game, was a wannabe Batman that could never live up. He was boring. He had no personality or depth. The story, it was just trash. And like I said, the gameplay was just completely repetitive. The graphics sucked and had been downgraded from what we were promised. This game was an all-around failure. It was an all-around flop. And honestly deserves to be on this list without a doubt. Next up is Undertale. If you like this game, you have something deeply wrong with you up top. You have to. This is a game for complete weirdos. Every time I see people that like this game, there's something off about them. You can tell they're weird as hell. I mean, there's no way that you're normal and can actually like a game like Undertale. This is not even a game. How dare people claim this is an RPG? It's not an RPG at all. It's just a game that you'd have to be a complete loser and a weirdo to play. That's it. There's nothing more to say about this game. This game is specifically for weirdos, specifically for losers. Next up is Final Fantasy 15. Oh man, how far Final Fantasy has fallen. I mean, a once great RPG series for hardcore gamers with great taste such as myself has been reduced to a casual button masher for frauds with bad taste. This game caters to losers that can't play real RPGs once again, period. I mean, it caters to the lowest of the low. The gameplay, again, is just a button mashing piece of trash that requires no skill. The story is just a convoluted, plot hole infested mess with a boy band, all male cast of characters that travel around, boy band, K-pop type of garbage. It's just weird. This game sucks. If you like this game and you consider yourself a Final Fantasy fan, you're not a Final Fantasy fan. You're a fraud and you cannot be taken seriously. Real Final Fantasy fans such as myself know the series died after 10. After that, it doesn't matter anymore. Next up is Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. The Metal Gear Solid series has always been trash, but this game took trash to a whole other level. I mean, the story was convoluted and full of just retcons. The gameplay was insanely repetitive. You just went here, did some bad stealth, went there, did some bad stealth. It was supposedly open world, but it didn't feel open world at all. The world was just so empty with nothing to do. The music sucked. Kojima was spamming his name over the game every 5 seconds. It was just a horrible game, and the Metal Gear Solid series has always sucked. People will claim this game series is like a masterpiece. Metal Gear Solid series before, was good. No, it was never good. And Metal Gear Solid 5 just proves that. What a terrible game. Next up is Devil May Cry 5. Now, Devil May Cry has always been garbage. Like I said, I remember one of my first memories with this franchise was one of my friends trying to get me to borrow the game. And I said I didn't want to borrow it. I wanted nothing to do with the game. And he was just insistent upon me borrowing this game. And I realized now the reason why was because he was trying to get this garbage out of his house as fast as possible. So he was trying to put it off on me. But I played the game for like 5 minutes, never touched it again. It was nothing but a casual button masher game for idiots, for casuals, for frauds and fake gamers, and I wasn't going to have any part of that. And Devil May Cry 5 is no different. I mean, just a casual button mashing piece of trash with an edgy story that was made specifically for weirdos. The soundtrack sucks, the graphics sucks. This is just a game for emo kids that have bad taste, period. Next up is Jump Force. Oh man, do anime games continue to fail. This game is nothing but a casual button mashing piece of trash, a fake fighting game for idiots that can't play real fighting games. Oh come on, I get to play with Goku, man. I get to play with Naruto, man. Ichigo, come in. It's just shonen fanboys' wet dream. That's all this game is. There's no depth to the combat. There's nothing special about it. It takes no skill. The graphics look weird as hell. The story is all over the place. It makes no sense whatsoever. This is just not a real game. This is nothing but fan service catered towards idiots that want to pretend that they're an anime character. That's all it is, and that's all it'll ever be. This game died immediately. Nobody that isn't a moron is still playing this game. If you actually bought Jump Force, you deserve to never play a game again. You don't deserve to. It's a wrap for you. Quit gaming immediately and stop embarrassing yourself. Next up is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, every Call of Duty game that's been released this decade has been trash. This is not anything new, but this game really took the cake. This is the worst Call of Duty game ever made, bar none. The only people that enjoy this game are morons, frauds, fake gamers, and casuals with bad taste. There's nobody that doesn't have a screw loose up top that can honestly, with a straight face, say this game is good. This is one of the most appalling games I've ever come across. I mean, the story, don't even get me started on the campaign, because who plays Call of Duty campaigns anyway? If you actually one of those people that buy Call of Duty every year just for the campaign, you're an idiot, period, point blank fact. The multiplayer was so insulting. I mean, it was so unbalanced, all over the place. The maps were horrible, the guns were horrible, the perks were horrible. Everything about this game was trash. Anybody that's actually still playing this game, you need to check into the doctor's office immediately. They need to get you some help. You are not well. Horrible game. So there you have it. These are the worst games of the decade. I could have added game after game after game, kept this list going all night, but I don't want this video to be super long because a lot of morons have short attention spans, so they're not going to watch the whole video anyway. I guarantee half the people that clicked on this video didn't even watch the whole video. That's how short people's attention spans are. That's how low level thinking they are. You know, higher level thinkers such as myself enjoy longer videos because we can take in and process all the information. But the reason low level thinkers like shorter videos because their brains can't function properly and can't compute all that information being sent to them at once. It's really sad when you think about it. But anyway, like I said, this is my list. This is 100% fact, 100% objective. So make sure you idiots are leaving a like on this video. Show me that you deserve this high quality, amazing content that I provide. Follow me on twitch.tv/theancientpizza. Subscribe to me and just prove that you're a real supporter. I'm out, man.